money to turn the lighthouse back on, so to speak. This morning I am joined by Captain Gary Hill, one of the coordinators of this event, and Cathy Sakas with the Friends of the Cocksboro Lighthouse, to tell us more about this event that's happening this weekend and how people can get in on the fun, and also talk a little bit of the history of the lighthouse for people who aren't familiar. Thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Let's start with the event that's happening this weekend. It is a free event, but you're also encouraging people to make a donation because this is a fundraising event as well.
That's correct.
What are the goals of this? Obviously, when you're talking about restoration of a lighthouse, trying to preserve a lighthouse, it costs a lot of money to be able to do that. So what's some of the money that you're trying to raise to go to?
So the lighthouse is still standing, and that's a credit to her strength, but she is crumbling. So we need to reappoint the mortar in between the bricks. We need to, the cupola needs to be replaced. That's the part that surrounds the light. Mm-hmm. The base needs to be shored up. With sea level rising, more waves, just natural waves coming in are inundating the base, but also wake from the big ships that are coming in, the really mega ships that are coming into port now. So, back a couple of decades ago, Jack Kingston managed to get us $1 million+ to put granite rock around the base, which helped a lot, but sea level's rising, mm-hmm. So we need to do more of that.
And we know work is kind of ongoing out there, and we see the scaffolding and work was being done out there last summer. So we know the importance of kind of continuing this process on there, which is kind of what this weekend's all about, to raise the money to make sure that happens. This is all taking place over at your spot where you're running out on the boat dock.
That's correct. It'll all be hosted at Captain Derek's Dalton Adventure. It's the location closest to the lighthouse as you leave out of Lazaretto Creek on Saturday from noon until sunset.
And you're going to take people out there?
Yes, we're going to have a couple of tours set aside specially to take people out to the Little Cocksboro Lighthouse, as well as a short view of the Fort Pulaski area, mm-hmm. and giving them a little bit of a historical, more of just a dedicated tour versus the normal tours that we would operate.
What else is happening during the day? It starts at noon, correct?
That's correct.
It goes until sunset, so you've got some time, because the time doesn't change until after Saturday, so we still have maybe an hour left of an hour more of sunlight.
Oh, we're going to have plenty of things going on. We have 3 bands lined up to be playing live music throughout the day. We're going to have food, hamburgers, hot dogs, that sort of thing going on. Several fundraisers as far as raffles, live auctions, silent auctions, things of that nature. A couple of interpretive things. The Friends of Cocksboro will have a booth set up that'll go a little bit more into detail for people that are interested in the ongoing project, as well as having the people from the U.S. Park Service that are doing historical and kind of tying the Park Service in, who are actually the owners of the lighthouse.
For folks who aren't familiar with the Cocksboro Island Lighthouse, can you just in a brief few words some of the history of this, why it's so significant to our area, and why preserving it is so important?
Absolutely. So when so everybody knows which lighthouse we're talking about, when you go across Lazaretto Creek Bridge, when you get to the top and you look to the north towards Hilton Head, that's the little lighthouse that's sitting right at the mouth of Lazaretto Creek. It used to light the southern channel to the Savannah River. So this lighthouse managed to withstand the bombing of Fort Pulaski, and we think that was because the Union forces had to lob the missiles over so high to get to the fort that it just went right over the little lighthouse. So this is our smallest lighthouse on the Georgia coast, and it's significant because it's what you see when you first come to Tybee.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you do see the bigger Tybee lighthouse as you come across the bridge, but that little lighthouse is a welcoming lighthouse, and so because of the historical significance, she's been there since 1839. Started 1837, but was finished in 1839. She's been there a while, and we owe it to her to let her stand for many more centuries.
And to turn the light back on is not for navigational purposes, but really just to have it look and appear as though it would have back when it was first there.
Right, and so when the Coast Guard gave us permission to turn the light on, It can't be, it can only go 5 miles, so
Okay.
it's weak.
Right.
But it can't interfere with the navigation of the Tybee light and then navigation lights coming into the port.
But enough to be significant for sure. Gary, Cathy, thank you so much for being here. Again, the Jamboree's coming up on Saturday, starts at noon and goes until sunset. It might be a really nice sunset. We're hoping for you guys out there.
All right.
Thank you so
on
much.
Saturday.
Thanks for having us on.
Well, thank y'all.
Really
All right.
appreciate it.
Coming up, a fun Savannah